So it's been a while since I've done a video, so as I always say, I thought I'd do one. Commitment, and we're not talking the type where you got to put a ring on a finger, or she asks you how much you love you and all this stuff. We're talking in the spiritual endeavor. Um, Recently, I've been meeting a lot of people, and what you find is all undertaking a myriad of techniques. So they've got the yoga classes going on, their shaman practices, they're reading into non-duality, they're Sufi whirling, and you name it, they're probably doing it. So what you find is a lot of these people are doing this whole, a player of many but a master of none. So year in, year out, they get to they find a certain method or a technique or a course, and they do that. And then what they do is when it gets slightly uncomfortable, they then jump ship onto something else and then onto something else. Now, the uncomfortable stage is really where, it gets interesting, and where you want to kind of, in a sense, kind of try and push through, because you will confront yourself and you will confront your demons regardless of whatever approach you do. So one of the things I'm saying to people now is, regardless of whatever approach you follow, commit to it and take it to its logical conclusion. Now, regardless of whatever you're doing, I mean, I've recently been kind of just looking at different methods, and what I found was, what I found is that you follow any of these methods to their logical conclusion, it will take you into that state of just nowness, where it's just here in this moment, and everything kind of, in a sense, makes sense. When it makes sense, then yeah, it's kind of, in a sense, there's a whole death of seeking, and you're seeing. Gets interesting then. But you do have to go through, as Jung would say, the whole dark night of the soul there, and really confront yourself, whether it's through your meditative practice, whether it's through your reading of philosophy, or whatever it is. But we have this mindset here in the West, and I believe it's kind of creeping into the East as well, really, because as the world industrializes and we're all kind of, in a sense, too busy chasing the dollar, we want everything now, like an instant fix. So we do the same thing with our spiritual approaches. Now, in the old times, you would commit to either a teacher or an approach, and you would commit and you would take it to its logical conclusion. Within the whole Sufi tradition, you would take bay'ah to a sheikh basically being a spiritual guide, and you would take it to its logical conclusion. Um, and again, the same traditions occurred in the Hindu culture. So, for example, you would take a guru and you would follow your guru to the ends of the earth, and you would take their instructions, because here was somebody who was complete, and they were helping complete others. I believe the Indian sage Nisargadatta Maharaj once said, "I don't have students, I create gurus." Now, what that is meant is that if you're going to come, have that certain level of commitment, put aside what you know, and if you have faith or even trust in that person, then, and you believe them to be authentic, then follow what they're doing. And when it gets difficult, that's when you persevere. Remember the whole Sufi story of this too shall pass. It's temporal. The fear that you're feeling, or the pain or the angst or the old issues coming up, it's temporal. It's just something to kind of, in a sense, either be experienced or to be witnessed and to be learnt from, and then to be moved on from. And what you then find is a lot of these emotional, charges, and all these feelings and issues slowly but surely lose their charge, and they can just be kind of, almost in a sense, watched impassively, as almost like you're watching a film. And then there's a real dynamism in the way you're actually existing. You're kind of here, and you're now, and you're intensely observing your experience, or whatever you are, however you want to. Again, don't get too caught up on words. So many people, because they flip from approach to approach to approach, they can talk it, and they believe that to actually go further down the path is to actually somehow kind of, yes, know all the terminology. Not necessarily. Look at what's being pointed to. So whatever approach you're taking, whether it's your yoga, whether it's your Sufism, whether it's your Advaita, whether it's your Buddhism, whatever, take it to its natural conclusion.